So your relationship with the narcissist is over, but it's difficult to make decisions now, and it's difficult to have a purpose on your life. Maybe you feel like, who am I? What am I doing? What's going on here? That's completely common. It happens all the time, and we're going to get into it, and we're going to find out who you are and how to fix this. So let's get on to it. Hey, wonderful people. I'm Frank. I have lived with a narcissist for way over 10 years. And my mom was a narcissist. And I'll put a card right here of why I do this and what my kind of qualifications are. But I know my stuff, and I got videos on my channel to prove it. So find those videos, look them all over if you want to. But this isn't about my past videos and all the knowledge that I have about narcissists. This is about how we take ourselves to the next level, how we thrive back to who we really are after narcissism is over. And one of the key things is that you don't feel like you can make great decisions afterwards, because you don't feel like there's a hole in you. You feel like it's not I think it's called empty house syndrome. It's like when the narcissist is gone, either they leave or you leave or they died or, yeah. So, right. So it's like a silent house. I think that's what it's called. And it's like, because it is silent. It's silent in your head now because you don't have the crazy narcissist about to do something. See, if I had a narcissist living on the other side of that wall over there, down that hallway, I would never know what's going to happen, right? I would have to keep an ear out, a mind out, because the narcissist could burst out of their room and start yelling and screaming and accusing or anything. So now that's not happening. I have something, right? I have silence because I don't have those external cues telling me who to be, where to be, what to think, what to feel anymore. And also the narcissist, living with a narcissist wears you down anyway. It does erode your identity. It erodes a lot of things about yourself. And so it's going to be you're going to feel like you're making decisions in a vacuum. So how do we get back to that? How do we get back to ourselves? The selves we were, and I don't want to even go back there too. I'm glad I brought that up by mistake. You don't want to go back to who you were, because that was a naive sucker waiting for the narcissist to come along and take advantage of them. You're not that anymore. You're not going to let that happen ever again. So you're better now than you were before. And now, who are you now? What's the process of finding that out? Let's get on with it. So we start with low stakes preferences. What does that mean? It seems that our identity is not so much just a thing, right? It's our mind says who we are and what we are by what we do. And we're going to start with the low stakes. We're not going to start with careers and the high stakes stuff, right? We're going to start with the low stakes. Like, do I like to have this window open here? That's pretty low stakes, right? What do I like the thermostat at? I know that was my thing. The narcissist I lived with always liked to play with the thermostat because it caused drama. And there was various ways I got around that when I was living with the narcissist. I would leave the premises, let the narcissist do whatever they want, whatever craziness is going to happen. That was a temporary solution. But now that I don't have to put up with that nonsense, what temperature do I actually want it at? And that's who I am. Do I want to wear short sleeve shirts or not? Do I want to, guys walk around with no shirts a lot of times. Low stakes stuff. The simple stuff. This will get you a grounded identity for yourself. And this is who I am. And it will also help you practice making decisions. And then, as childish as it seems, right, you got to start with this really simple stuff. How do I like my refrigerator? How many times am I going to vacuum the floor? Am I going to do it every week? How much does it need it? Right? And you're making these little decisions. You're starting to become the person, you're actually becoming the person that you are now without looking for external pressures to tell you who to be, what to do. And you might have to get around some other people in your life or the workplace, of course, probably, right? But yeah, you work around those and you become a person that you are. And it's going to take a little bit of back and forth time. It took a long time for me to figure out how to do the dishes the way I want, right? Because the narcissist would, always have a thing with the dishes. And then there was the dishwasher, and then there was all this other stuff. So you might come to a point in all this decision making, and you probably will, where you feel some kind of anxiety, especially around money, right? Or something that costs money, or maybe food, or maybe looks, wherever your anxiety is. And I just ask you, one of the best things you can do is have this, because you might go into hypervigilance, right? Where you are always, I got this, I got this, I can do this, I can do this. Back off, right? And look at yourself as if you were another person. What are you doing right now? If you're panicking, you're looking silly. And it probably is silly, unless it's like life and death, right? Or a lot of money, let's face it. So notice what you feel without being judgmental about it. So some people, when they get upset or have anxiety, they might feel some tension in their jaw, right? They clench their jaw, or they clench their fists, or they clench their arms. Some people do this with their shoulders. You're going to feel different emotions in your body. Anxiety, usually a stomach thing, or a tightness in their chest, or a lump in their throat, or something like that. Zero in on those things. Do not have any judgment about it. And then instead of saying, I have anxiety, or I'm a wreck for today, or I'm losing it, just be very literal about what's going on. I have a tightness in my chest. Interesting. I guess that means I have anxiety or something. Or I have tightness in my jaw. I guess that means I'm obviously angry. So you're just observing it almost from an outsider view, and that takes your emotion out of it, and you being the observer of your body instead of entombed in it, right, and controlled by it, right? Now you're kind of stepping outside of it, and you can make more rational decisions on what's going on and where you need to go next. And here's another technique to bring you back to yourself. What did you enjoy before you went with what you got with the narcissist? What are the things you enjoyed before you set up with them? And a lot of people have hobbies, right? Like gardening, or I used to read books, or I used to enjoy just sitting around reading, or whatever it was, right? It's not that I'm going to ask you to take up those hobbies again, and you could take up those hobbies again, but start thinking about them again. What did you enjoy about them? Would you do them again? Start to dabble in them a little bit. If it was books, and say you had books from Amazon, maybe you'll download the Kindle app again, or you'll look into it again. And if you liked reading books outside on the porch, maybe you just set up a chair outside on the porch and think about it again. Just start to touch bases with these aspects of yourself that you used to enjoy. Now, they may still be there, but like I said, you came through a lot and you have grown. You might feel like you've fallen back or you've been destroyed or damaged, but I'm telling you, you have grown and you've grown a lot. And you might have grown out of some of the things that you used to enjoy. So just go dabble back in them and see, put your, what I'm trying to say is get into the pool slowly, right? Right. Not because it's dangerous, but because it might not fit you anymore. And if you get in slowly, you'll be able to see why this doesn't fit you anymore and how something might be able to fit you better as you ease yourself back into these hobbies that you used to enjoy. Okay, I'm back. I had some technical difficulties there. I think I straightened out the camera too, the lighting, the whole thing. Yeah, I pulled back the. This is not a news broadcast. I don't pretend that this is all going to be perfect. Life is not perfect. That's the perfection of life. That it's not perfect. That it's real. It's human. I'm not an AI, people. I'm going to show you how it is to be a human being because, hey, you're a human being too, and it's not easy. It's not easy for any of us, and that's why this channel exists. So let's get on with it. My notes over here now that I can see them, there's not so much light around. Yes, you're going to create routines in your life like getting up in the morning where it is just a routine. You just kind of go through all the things and you don't even think about it. But what that creates, and you can do that in a lot of different spaces in your life. And what that creates is a container, a safe container that is like a little greenhouse for your growth. Like when we have plants, baby plants, we don't just put them outside because there's a lot of pests outside, it's too hot, it's too cold, or whatever it is. We put them in a greenhouse because they could just thrive in there, right? And that's what these safe container routines are. They will help you thrive. And then you'll have a lot of these little routines in your life. And then you'll have a lot of little islands that are safe spaces where you can grow as yourself and grow more of yourself in them. And that'll start to bleed over onto the rest of the stuff in your life and each other until your whole life is like that. And also having a pet. There are a lot of benefits with having a pet. Um, there are health benefits, right? Lower blood pressure, um, lower cortisol, and all the stuffs. Yeah, you could look that up online. That's a whole nother video, right? All these things are a whole nother videos. Right? But having a pet is also good because the pet is a person, a furry person, okay, who accepts you as you are. Unlike this video camera. Sorry, I had to move that. Accepts you as you are and is non-judgmental. So, and you don't have to put on a performance for the cat, right? You walk around without any, your hair is a mess, your face is a mess, your body, you don't care. There's no judgment in a pet. And that's really why we love pets. And that's very healing. And that's also going to bring you back to yourself very quickly. Very quickly. Because you're around a little furry person who accepts you exactly as you are and isn't trying to change you or push their way on you too much, right? Cats demand that they be fed in the morning. And when they're hungry, they demand to be fed. But as long as their stomachs are full, it's all good as far as they're concerned. And that's very healing. So I assume most of the people on here have ditched the narcissist or mostly ditched the narcissist. What are you finding out about yourself that you really enjoy now, or your new living situation that you enjoy now that the narcissist is gone? I can tell you what I'm enjoying. Let's get the ball rolling, right? I enjoy just being me and figuring stuff out, right? I don't have to argue with anybody for anything. If I want, if the lighting is too much coming in like it was, I just draw the blinds and I don't have to put up with somebody complaining about, narcissists, they really want to complain about everything. That keeps you on the back foot and keeps them in control. And so, right, I don't have to do any of that. What I really enjoyed really soon was I didn't have anybody verbally harassing me, cursing at me, calling me names, and then I would have to verbally defend myself, or I would feel like I had to, right? And I did that well, but still, it is it's a marker for depression. Actually, if I get questions from my doctor every year, and they ask you stress questions like, is it hard paying your bills, or do you feel depressed and all that? But one of them is, are people cursing at you? Right? Are people calling you names in your house on a regular basis? And if you're living with a narcissist, that's exactly what living with a narcissist is. Not a symptom of, it is. That is exactly what it is. And that's what is one of the things I enjoyed when I first got away from that, is that the utter peace and normalcy of living as a normal human being. If you're not out of it, living with a narcissist, get out of it, man. It is so worth it here on the other side. It is so worth it. It's worth whatever you got to go through, whatever you have to do. To Yeah, I'm out of words. Right, on to the next thing. And so, just to recap, we're not empty. Okay, we're just under reconstruction for something so fantastic, a self and an us that is so fantastic, we can't now even imagine it. We literally can't imagine it. We have to build it through little tasks every day, like, do I want to keep the window open, or do I want to close the blinds? Do I want to wear this shirt? Do I want to have this on the sofa as opposed to nothing on the sofa? That's rebuilding our identity. It's not that we're empty or we're broken. Not at all. Quite the opposite. And remember that you're doing more, you're healing more, and you are more than you can feel right now. And that's why the daily tracker is so important, because it'll show you how many great things you're doing during the day. I love it. I don't always fill it in perfectly, but I put down the big stuff at least so I can see, oh my goodness, especially when days are bad. So I hope all that helps you guys, and I will see you on the next video.